All right, everyone. Tom Perez has come out now, and he's echoing the DNC, and he's saying, well, I only learned about this Russia dossier a couple days ago. I didn't know anything about it before. So really, something that was already front page news for many months, even thereafter, like after the story so-called broke in the first place, you'd never heard about it, so you're not reading any news at all, like even legacy media news. There's no way you could have fucking avoided it. You knew that this was a thing. You had to have read at least a couple articles. Some staffer briefed you on the problem, because I guarantee Tom Perez, if he's competent at all, I'll get into that in a second, he knew. And here's the big thing. If Tom Perez is telling the truth here, assuming that you don't think he's a liar, he should be kicked out as head of the DNC immediately. The Democrats, I'm going to tell you this, if Tom Perez is dumb enough and inept enough that he doesn't keep up with stories that go on that could affect the party at large, to the point at which months and months later he's not even aware of a fake dossier that the Clinton campaign at some level, whether it was a lower level staffer or Podesta himself, funded and promulgated in association with people working in the Democratic National Committee. If he did not know that was going on, my goodness, you'd be crazy to keep him, to think that that kind of a person could develop a strategy to go up against even what you originally thought would be really, really weak candidate Donald Trump. You'd have to be crazy. You'll get roasted in the midterms because things will fall apart, because somebody that inept won't know what they're doing. And let's say, so if he's telling the truth, he's totally inept. Now let's say the opposite is true and he's lying and he actually knew all along. Well, then he just didn't want to talk about it. He did what the DNC did after the DNC leaks. They tried not to talk about it, then blamed Russia, because they knew that it would be too bad for them during the election. If they came out and said, yeah, these are real documents, we're kind of sorry, there's probably some weird shit in there, and we didn't secure our computers properly and everything else, had they done that, even the shitty polls would have shown Trump up. The Republicans probably would have done even better. They did the best that they could to patch the leaks, and did a half-assed job of it, which now has snowballed into a practically world-ending scandal where they're damaging our relationship with another significant nuclear state. But they did try. Tom Perez, by the way, wasn't even part of that. What would Tom Perez have done if he had been the one in charge when the DNC leaks occurred? Because apparently he's too inept to even know what's going on around him. What would have happened if he had been in charge? Would it have been like, Donna Brazil's reaction? Oh, these are stolen emails, so I'm admitting that they're real, but they're not actually real, so don't read them. By the way, this is like criminal, and it has to do with Russia. Would he even have been able to formulate that kind of shitty response and look corrupt thereafter? Would he have been able to stop the snowballing of the scandal? He's saying that he didn't keep up with one of the major news items that involves corruption within the group that he himself runs. That doesn't scream efficiency to me. No, and I warned about Tom Perez. Like, I thought it was funny when the Democrats chose him. There were other options, mostly just as shitty as him. But it was a clear sign they were going to maintain the boring neoliberal composure of a party that's desperately, desperately trying to evade noticing the fact that they have a schism going on internally right now. The Democratic Party is trying to be blind to the facts of reality involving the rise of the far left, like the progressive wing of the party, the fleeing of the business Democrats largely to the Republicans, which, by the way, they're not doing themselves any with the shit that they're talking about. When they sit there and they say, oh, we're going to kneel during the anthem, and we're not going to give you any platforms. We're a year out now almost from the midterms. We're not going to give you what platform we're going by. Just vote for us, you dumb fucks. That's really going to be helpful, going up against somebody like Trump, a business Democrat, tried and true, essentially, who has a lot of support among the working and middle classes in rural and small-town America. He's going to wipe the floor with you. The Republican Party itself, you won't even have never-Trumpers to help you, by the way. He's going to lean on his own party and say, look, I know how to take care of him during the midterms. I've also got hundreds of millions of dollars, but you're going to have to suck up a little if you want me to open those purse strings. Otherwise, I'm just going to save it for my re-election bid. Now, I'm going to say screw yous all, because I'd rather go across and work with a few sane business Democrats that I might support. That's what Trump will do. He could go bipartisan during the midterm elections. It'd be the funniest thing ever. Oh yeah, get rid of McCain, get a Democrat in there. Who cares? I'd rather work with them because John McCain's crazy. He could probably pull it off. His own fans, you think they would care? Most of them aren't partisan Republicans. A lot of these people are independent voters. That's who voted for him. A Republican voted for, in large part, by independent individuals and people who had supported third parties, myself included. You're trying to tell me that the head of the DNC himself, that nobody made him aware that order has broken down so badly within the Democratic National Committee? Now, I almost kind of believe it. You're trying to tell me, though, that there wasn't a single person there that told him, hey, this story is a big thing. We might want to know exactly, or, you know, what if you get asked about it? What if you're talking to someone on CNN, they say, hey, what about this Pissgate dossier? Nobody thought to prime him on the facts of the case, at least as far as, you know, their own corruption. In one way, I can believe that this might be true, and I'll tell you why. If we look at the DNC leaks, or the Podesta leaks, or any of the other leaky ship exhibitions that the last campaign showed us, it wasn't just the Clinton camp, it was the DNC at large in association with them. It looks like they just don't have things figured out. It looks like they're inefficient, sloppy. Their staffers don't listen to them. They don't talk to one another. They don't coordinate. They don't plan. They don't have a strategy. They don't have a platform. They don't have a leader. That looks like the problem of the DNC. What's going to happen to you in the midterms? You fucking crazy? Trying to go up against a juggernaut like Donald Trump? It doesn't matter what his approval is. If somebody asks him, hey, Donald, I don't want you to campaign directly for me because in this particular district you're not that popular, he'll back off and he'll give money to someone else to donate to him. Oh yeah, this person's well-liked, I'll give it to some sports team that's local. Ingratiate myself to the public there. He can do that, by the way, legally. Wouldn't be a campaign donation, wouldn't have anything to do with politics. Yeah, I gave Bobby Knight a bunch of money to erect a statue of himself. Yeah, you know, what a great campaign strategy without campaigning. You think he hasn't thought of something like that because he happens to be fucking rich as hell? Yeah. Tom Perez is almost certainly lying. He almost certainly knew. If he didn't know, if he's telling the truth, order has broken down so badly within the DNC they don't stand a fighting chance in the midterms. At the very least, that would be an admission that they've basically said, well, we're not going to do anything during the midterms. We're just sort of going to sit it out. We're just going to let the candidates fend for themselves. They're not going to be able to raise much money. How the hell are you supposed to raise money if you can't organize? Tom Perez is about the worst possible individual that you could have leading the DNC right now, by the way. You'd be better off going the progressive route. Sure, the business Democrats would flee off. Some of the neoliberal donors would flee. But at least you'd have youth support. At least you'd have some online edge. You're not going to have that. Trump's still got that edge online. And he's probably still going to have it. Look, Bernie Sanders isn't going to bail you out. He's not running for the presidency again. The Rock's not going to be able to bail you out. He's almost certain not to. Mark Cuban's doubtful. It's not going to happen. You're probably going to end up with some glass-ceiling Gillibrand or Elizabeth Warren candidate, or some boring old neoliberal like a Joe Biden run. That's probably going to be your next candidate. What's the DNC going to do to prop him up? They'll probably just bleed more emails out. And once again, you can blame Russia. But all along, it'll be some staffer on the inside who didn't press the right button, didn't change a password, just got miffed because their candidate got stabbed in the back, and they knew that it happened because it was provably true. They read an email. Oh, shit. Clinton's coordinating directly with the DNC. Well, I support Bernie. Why the hell am I here working for the DNC if with this collusion? I'm just going to stab the candidate in the back. Ah, this is going to be great. You know, his name was Seth something or other, or whatever the hell the name was. Guarantee it wasn't Russian hackers. Absolutely not. Tom Perez knows that too. He knows full well that that's not the case. But he's never going to own up to it because he doesn't want the DNC to implode on his watch. And that'll be why things keep getting worse. Because no specific leader within the Democratic Party has the balls to say, whoops, we made some actual mistakes. None of them are willing. Clinton's not willing to admit to a mistake. Oh, I was the candidate. It's my fault that I lost, but it was everyone else's fault that I lost. It was Comey's fault. It's the FBI's fault. The DNC didn't back me enough. This Obama didn't go to enough speeches. Goldman Sachs didn't pump me full of enough money. Everyone else is to blame. The female voters, black voters, they They betrayed me. Whites are all bigots and racist. You know, I'm white too, but, you know, I'm the exception because I'm a Democrat. My name's Clinton. That's basically what she's going for an explanation. She can't even talk to Tom Perez, probably. And he desperately needs some help, as apparently he can't even read a news report. Isn't that kind of his job, to know what's going on and coordinate things within the party? Well, good luck in the midterms. It's going to be real funny to watch you fucking fail. That's about all. Peace out.